Hi, Angus Campbell here. Sunday the 2nd of June. Today we're going to crack on with the A70 Lightning engine. First of all, to get this inner cover off, which covers the main engine sprocket on the primary side, and that's that done, and then we'll turn it around and we'll get the inner timing cover off. But first of all, let's get set up and get on with this. Okay, right, so I've got a decent screwdriver to hand, nice broad-ended, because these are countersunk screws and they're quite shallow. They were all in quite firm, but not that firm, so I am able to undo them all without any trouble at all, actually. I'm not quite sure whether these should be torqued or not. I wouldn't have thought so. All these are doing is just holding on this cover and making sure it's firm enough against the gasket to stop leaks. These look in pretty good condition, but I have got some new ones in stock if we need to replace any. Notice there's a woodruff key there out of the gearbox main shaft, clutch shaft. Okay, that's that. Obligatory rubber mallet. Just see if we can get it to move to break the seal. The other way is to tap it from the other side. Just get a torch and see what we can see. Yeah, there it is. We can actually probably lever it from the other side against the engine sprocket. Looks filthy in there, but the engine sprocket does look alright. Anyway, let's do a little bit of levering. And there she goes. So there is a gasket. It has got red hematite or something like that on it, so this has been apart. But the cover itself is in good condition. We'll put that in the parts box. Put all the screws and the woodruff key in the bolts box. Right, the sprocket lock nut is loose, but luckily there's a tab washer which has held it in place. Shafts are turning okay. No up and down playing the shafts. But the nut is terribly chewed. So that's been off before. Shafts do turn quite freely with no rough spots, so that's good. But that nut will need replacing, but I do have those in stock. So let's see if we can get a box spanner on that. I think that's going to be way too small. So we're probably going to have to go with big adjustable. See how bad that was. I'm just holding that the sprocket with my fingers, so that nut was very loose, and it didn't really take much to take that off and to remove it from the sort of clutches of a tab washer, because the tab washer is there, but it's not really been bent over. So that's been put back. And you can see where it's bent over before, but it's not been bent over again. So there's all sorts of evidence of that people have been having a look inside this motor, probably at various points, maybe just to ascertain the extent of the damage, but never really got all the way, and to get it restored properly. I'm just sorry. I'm just pondering this a bit because I can't get the sprocket out. The case behind the cover looks as though it's got indentations in it, so you can line the teeth up to get the sprocket out. They don't really quite line up properly. So what I'm going to do is count the teeth on that sprocket. And see whether that's original. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 teeth. Right, let me just suspend you there, and I'm going to go into the house and grab the parts book and see if 22 teeth is original, if it states that. Hi, Angus Campbell here. Sunday the 2nd of June. Today we're going to crack on with the A70 Lightning engine. First of all, to get this inner cover off, which covers the main engine sprocket on the primary side, and that's that done, and then we'll turn it around and we'll get the inner timing cover off. But first of all, let's get set up and get on with this. Right, so we'll leave the sprocket there for now. I'm not going to force it out. Actually, it looks to me as though there are cast-in potential grooves, but some of them haven't been dressed properly. So we'll have a look at that in a bit more detail once we've got it apart, but once we split the cases we'll be able to get that out. So I'm not going to force it now, so let's turn this around and attack the timing case. So the outer cover was on the bike, but not attached by all its screws, and also the screws are Allen heads, so they're not original, so it's been off before. The reason I took the cover off was just to see if it had a points and points black plate, which it didn't, and then I left it at that. So we've got that part, which is fine. Let's just have a look at the case itself. Oh, that's right, yeah, you've already seen this actually. So the points cover is badly scored and been chrome plated in the past, but we've got a replacement for that, as I've said. Otherwise, there are some aberrations down here with this case, but that's going to restore okay. We don't need a replacement there. It doesn't appear to be any cracks. The sealing faces are pretty good, although obviously in this case here, in this cavity, there's no oil. Now on the inner case, there are its own screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at least, if not more. There's only two here left. These other holes that are flush with the face are those screws that come through from the outer case. So we'll see initially how tight these remaining, what have we got? Two screws, that's all. Let's see how tight these are with a decent screwdriver. They've been messed with. I can see that they're the original crossheads, and it looks as though we might need to get an impact on them. This top one's slightly rounded, quite badly in fact. The bottom one's okay. But let's get the impact out on the bit. There it is. So we've got the impact driver. Put it. There it is. We know that's set to undo. This top one's not going to go. I don't think. It's rounded. Maybe that's why they gave up trying to get this inner cover off, because there are two screws left which are tight. See what we can do. She's gone. Okay, that's one. I don't have high hopes for this one. Let's see what we can do. She's not even gripping. Ah dear, okay, it's drill time. So let me get that drilled in the same way that we did before, with three or four screws on the primary case, and I'll bring you back. Okay, that didn't take too long, about five minutes. Cutting compound, nice sharp drill bit, and a very slow drill speed. And again, I don't know if you might be able to see some of this down here, but big trails of swarf, which is great news. Cutting well, so that's a damn good bit, that is. What we've got there is the head. Went through and spun right off with a nice central position. So that to me is everything. Now I think this is going to be quite difficult to get off. So I've got the rubber mallet, but the good news about the inner timing case is that you've got an extension at the back that you can hit, and also at the front here there's the extension casting for the tacho drive. So we've got two positions to give it a bit of a whack. So we'll gently tap away now. Wow, one tap, it's cracked. It's cracked already, one tap. This is good. There she comes. Now then, I'm not sure yet whether there's anything down here I need to think about removing. But she's come out a certain way. Oh, of course, we need to take the auto advance off. That's what we need to do next. Now, there is an extractor for the auto advance. But as you can see, there's no bolt in it. It's not in very good condition anyway. It's on a taper, but normally with a rubber mallet, if you give it a good whack on both sides, it'll unseat. And there we go, off its taper. And that auto advance, it looks usable actually, but it is seized on its shaft. And actually, something, see on the end of my fingers there? That just fell out of the back when I was tapping it. Doesn't appear to be any pins short. It is actually the end of a screw that's been sawn. So I don't know where that's come from, but anyway, the auto advance is in one piece. The advance cam is actually seized on its spindle and is slightly raised as well. So I don't know whether you can see that very well, but at the back here you can see there's the spindle that goes into the bob weight, and it's raised up fairly significantly, and also at the top here you can see it's not all the way down. So that's going to need a bit of agitation. The quickest way to check whether we can free it, you just knock it down. And the answer is no, really. So that's going to be one for soaking. I'm just going to cover that in WD. And then what we'll do at some point is we'll get it in a vise, see if we can start twisting it on its shaft first. We'll just leave that to soak for a while. Right, let's create some space. We don't need the cutting compound anymore. Let's back to bed. back to the job in hand. So I'm just wondering actually if we have to take this return spring off that shaft, and the return spring is held in there by what looks to be a 7/16 lock nut. So I'll get the socket set out. Okay, 7/16. Which it's not. Perhaps 1/2 inch then. Try 1/2 inch. Better. There she goes. Okay. That's the nut off. You can see it holds a cup onto the inner back case face, and ping! Now then, watch launch the other side of the room, a washer I think. So you can see how there's a big cup that just keeps the shape of this is the gear lever return spring. I did see roughly where the washer went. I'm sure it was just the washer. We can let's have a check in the parts book. I don't think there's anything special in there. Right, where are we? So that's the correct side, but it's not showing anything, so it must be on the gearbox. There we go. Yeah, just a washer. 18. Gear change return spring washer. That's all it is. So we shan't worry too much about that. So now that's off. Still no joy. That's definitely on that plate. Check underneath. Nothing there. Don't think that's a retaining screw. It's definitely this, I think, that's holding it.